They say reflections don't lie. But that night, in the still water of Moji, I saw Seko's reflection smile long before his face did. I shouldn't have been there. I was following Seko out of curiosity, or maybe jealousy. He'd always been ordinary, just another man in the village. Then, seemingly overnight, he became something else. His skin glowed like it drank the sun. His voice carried weight that made people listen. His once worn clothes became fine, and the women who used to mock him now fought for his attention. Even the elders sought his advice, which was strange because Seko had never been the type to know much of anything. I thought he had found some secret, some treasure. I didn't think it was a curse. It started a week before, when Seko first disappeared at night. He returned soaked to the bone, shivering but grinning. "I found a way," he said to me once, under his breath, as if daring me to ask. "A way to be more." That night, I followed him. The lake was silent, as always. No crickets, no frogs, no wind. Just still, heavy air. The moon was full, but its light seemed to avoid the water. Seko walked to the shore and stood there for a long time, whispering words I couldn't make out. He carried nothing, no offerings like in the stories of old gods. Just himself. Then the water moved. It didn't splash or ripple, it parted, slowly, as if something vast and patient was rising. The smell of salt filled the air, though we were miles from the ocean. And there it was, the Leviathan. I didn't see all of it. I don't think anyone could. What I saw was like the tip of a mountain breaking the surface, shimmering with scales that shifted colors, green, blue, black, like oil on water. Its eyes were pits of light, not glowing but swallowing everything around them. It spoke, but not with words. Its voice was a vibration in my chest, in my teeth, in my skull. Seko stood there, unshaken, and spoke back. I still don't know how he understood it. He asked for beauty, for wisdom, for wealth. And he asked to be loved. The Leviathan didn't laugh, but the air grew colder, sharper. It answered, and though I didn't know the language, I felt its meaning: all gifts require sacrifice. Seko nodded. He looked into the creature's eyes and said, "I am ready." The Leviathan lowered its massive head until it almost touched him. For a moment, I thought it would devour him. But instead, it sank back into the water, and the lake stilled. Seko turned and walked away, his face calm. His reflection in the water lingered, watching me, before it followed him. After that night, everything changed. Seko became a king in all but name. People couldn't help but love him, though they didn't know why. He was beautiful, clever, rich beyond understanding. The land around him flourished. Crops grew where they shouldn't, rains came when they were needed, and everyone who touched him seemed blessed. But I knew what I saw. I kept my distance, though he always smiled at me like he knew something I didn't. Sometimes, I'd catch his shadow moving wrong. Other times, I'd see his reflection in water, grinning when he wasn't. The village thrived, but there were costs. Small ones, at first. Livestock disappearing. The lake claiming anyone who fished too close to its center. Then the dreams started, dreams of sinking, of drowning, of endless teeth and cold eyes. One day, I confronted him. I asked him what he had done. He didn't deny it. "I paid a price," he said simply. "And now I live free." Free. I spat. "You're bound to that thing." Seko shook his head. "No," he said, "it's the others who are bound. Bound by their weakness, their fears, their small lives. I've seen the depths, and they've seen me. I'll never go hungry, never be lonely, never be forgotten. Wouldn't you want that?" I didn't answer, but he smiled like he already knew. Years have passed, and Seko still thrives. The village has grown into a town, then a city, all under his shadow. People worship him without realizing it, drawn to his beauty, his charm, his power. And me? I live on the edges, watching. Sometimes I dream of the Leviathan, its voice calling me to the water. Sometimes I wonder if I'm free, or if just seeing it has marked me. But one thing is clear, all gifts require sacrifice. And sometimes, the price isn't paid in full until long after the deal is made.